Hello, one and all, and welcome back. Yes, back to the Great Unknown Audio Show with me, your illustrious host, and most appropriate face for radio, Maxim Jennings. And, today I'm going to be trying to do as little talking as possible, as we have a lot of captured audio content for yourselves, which is without my voice, and from the title, you can tell that it's been a very cultural day and a really inviting but informative as well as enjoyable day. So yes, we were just outside Rotorua again, which is really known for being one of the regions that is one of the most populated Maori regions in New Zealand, and so we started our day at Te Puia Arts and Culture School, so a university that it was set up by the Maori people, self-funded by the Maori people through tourism to allow for young Maori people, I should say Maori, not Maori, that's bad from me, Maori people, to go and study the arts and crafts traditions of their ancestors, watching how they still use the same methods that they did from thousands of years ago, to make some absolutely beautiful products, weaponry and clothing that they still wear today in cultural performances as well as in their everyday lives. So great start to today. Te Puia also is home to one of the very few kiwi sanctuaries in the North Island. So we saw our first kiwi. It's a bird that I have very little knowledge about when it comes to its abilities. I knew, well, part of me knew that they couldn't fly, but part of me did not realise how they are in fact very territorial birds, and the fact that they can't fly means they don't really need that much space, but I listened to their mating call. They didn't obviously make that when we were there, although it is mating season at the moment for a long duration of the year, and the female's mating call is very, very poignant and aggressive, which you like to hear. So that was nice to see. We only saw the male kiwi, but it has a lovely long beak, which I assume is its form of attack. And the guide was saying that if another kiwi steps on another kiwi's territory, then they will fight to the death, which doesn't really help their claim to stay around on this planet for very long. But that's territorial animals for you. So that was good to see. And then we were also located right next to one of the North Island's biggest geysers. So a geyser pretty much similar to the wave pools, but it's obviously where pressure is concentrated in a mountain, a lot of hot steam builds up, and then when there's an overflow of pressure, there are little bursting holes where lots of smoke will kind of rise up and water will flare out of the mountain. I don't really know much about the science there, but they're pretty cool to see, and they are incredibly warm. So that's what they use to for their hot pools, mud baths and things like that, to kind of cleanse as well as heat up some of the products, I believe. Not obviously right on top of the geyser, but some of the hot pools, almost acting as a kiln for some of the different crafts, which is pretty cool. And then finally, the main event, we got to see a traditional Maori performance. So I'm going to shut up and stop talking. This was kind of in one of their meeting halls, so that it was quite a big tourist group. But prior to this, there was a big Indian group. I mean, we know that Indians don't really come in small sizes, so in terms of population, not in terms of personal size, obviously, because they're rather short on the average. I think the average height is 5'6". So it was all right because I could see above all of them. But they do love getting their cameras out and taking lots of selfies. But that's what tourists are best known for, and that's what they're good at. So anyway, to the introduction. So an Indian gentleman and his family were chosen to bring a peace offering towards the Maori household as we were entering their chambers. And then they did a ceremonial dance to welcome us into their meeting hall of the Maori word. I can't remember the name. I want to call it mata. And then there were about 7 or so Maori locals with a chief who had a very long ponytail, and a very stout gentleman who could have been a prop for the All Blacks if he'd just moved a bit quicker. But they had a lot of their ceremonial weaponry on them, and were wearing a woven kind of skirt that was orange and beigey colour. Looks very nice. I'm not sure how comfortable it looked, but I think they were wearing pants as an undergarment. Otherwise we might have seen their little bits flying, or big bits, who knows, flying about, and that would have been a sight for sore eyes, for me at least. So what you heard was kind of an introductory welcoming song, and song is a big part of their community. And now we're going to hear another love fable, which then quickly transitions into a haka, and something that I'd always want to see was a traditional haka, not one that you see from the All Blacks in their rugby games, because there are thousands of hakas, as we were told last night. And this one was incredibly special. Facial expressions were absolutely magnificent, and if you can just imagine every time you hear the male voice crying, screaming at you, they would be making facial expressions with beady eyes, kind of psychotically looking at you, and their heads tilted down with their tongues stretched out to the max, and their face almost adjusted to one side, looking like they want to eat you, because that was their intimidation tactics before war, and it's symbolic of when they used to eat their opponents' vital organs as a means of gaining knowledge, from the brains to the heart to the eyes, gaining sight. But usually this would only be done to someone who was of equal or superior status, like a chief. But it's a rational form of cannibalism, as our guide was telling us about, as there was something that the Maori were gaining from this process, and it wasn't always just about survival and hunger and eating. It was eating as a means of improvement, of advancing their knowledge. So it's an interesting perspective, not one that I entirely agree with, but I can respect. And by golly, folks, their faces absolutely fantastic, the passion that you see. So keep that in mind when you're listening. It kind of quickly transitions into a haka. You'll be able to tell the difference straight away. But the gentleman at the who plays the male in this love song, he has a spectacular voice. I hope the microphones did it justice. So this is about 5 minutes long. So enjoy. yeah, and it's been an absolutely fantastic day, full of lots of learning, and I love the Maori culture. I find it fascinating, and I love the fact that they're trying to preserve it, and also expand on it, and fight for who they are and their history, which is magnificent. It's what everyone should be doing. So yeah, folks, that's going to wrap it up. I hope you've enjoyed these audio segments. Thank you very much for listening. You'll hear from me in the next one, as always, and goodbye.